muted. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Fellfire-Side Chat, which is our conclusion to our first season of D&D Surprise Party, which has been a total weird social experiment that Dragon and I collaborated on, and we can't wait to get into more of those details tonight and tell you all about it. But thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much to everyone who watched the show. If you haven't yet, it is on the Chaotic Tiefling YouTube. But let's introduce ourselves, because I know I'm a new face on this Wednesday night stream. I am your friendly neighborhood BabstheBat. I am the CEO, owner, person of Chaotic Tiefling Productions. I am also your chaos coordinator. And these lovely people beside me, right over here, are lovely, lovely D&D Surprise Party cast members that I hope you have fallen in love with over this season, because I have. So, we'll start with Dragon and just kind of like introduce yourselves real quick. Let everyone know who you played and where they can and what your handles are, so they can follow you. Dragon, you start.
Greetings, my friends and fiends. Would you like to follow me on an adventure? Like these wonderful people have. I am, of course, your humble dungeon master, Eel Dragon. You can find me on the Twitter sphere at Antraconic Verses. You can find me here on Twitch at Eel Dragon. I have had the most amazing time running this game for these amazing players and amazing people, more importantly. And I've said it numerous times, but I can't say it enough to thank Babs for this opportunity to run this. She is the heartbeat of Chaotic Tiefling. She is the heartbeat and brains behind it. She's the heartbeat of this show, because without her, there wouldn't be a surprise party. She took a big chance on my goofy experiment, and I'm just so thrilled.
Stop, Dragon! You're gonna make me cry.
I'm just so thrilled that we have such an amazing community here at Chaotic Tiefling that we're able to pull this off. That people feel safe enough to go in blind, not knowing who they're going to be playing with. And but this is the only place that I could even attempt something like that. It really is. I mean, the closest thing you can compare it to is walking into your local game shop and sitting down at somebody's table that you don't know anybody there, but you don't know what you're going to get.
Yep.
But at least here you have an idea of what you're going to get, and that's the only reason I was able to even dare to try something like this. And now that we're saying so long to these lovely folks for now, there's a new bunch of folks out there that are just waiting to get surprised, and I can hardly wait. So that's it for me for now. I'm sure in the chat somebody will type an exclamation point for Sooth at some place. And,
we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it right now.
And you can get D&D Surprise Party merch. In fact, there are 2 new shirts in there tonight. You can see it on my Twitter account. I posted on it. You can see that it's a nice little list of me and the characters in the order of their squares on the overlay.
On the other overlay. Well, technically,
on the regular overlay.
I actually arranged everyone tonight on the overlay per their porthole circles from the other overlay.
Oh, I love that detail. So thank you again, everybody. I love all of you. And I love everybody that's out there in the chat that's been watching all this time. That's all I'm going to say for now.
Yep, we'll get into all the juicy details here in just a second. So, yes. But we're going to toss it over to April.
I have to follow that?
Yep, you do. Surprise.
I'm April. Please. Hi. I played Alizira.
Hi, April.
The half orc mark of finding rogue. Why am I still waving?
When everyone's
Being
not in
myself,
character,
I just
we're all
realized I
socially
don't know how to
awkward.
be myself on a stream, and I don't know what to do. You can follow me at April Raygun. Please, someone else start talking.
Okay,
And
we're
just to
gonna
let
go
you
to
know, I'm
Sarah.
wearing this wonderful hat that April gave me as a nice little gift. So
Amazing.
which
I
I
love
love.
it. All right, Sarah.
Hi, I'm Sarah B. Strange. You can find me on Tweeters at Sarah B. Strange, and I have played Selmathe, the Tiefling Warlock. Yeah, this has been so much fun, and I hope that we get to revisit these characters because our stories aren't done. We're not done.
Not by a long shot.
All right, Finn.
Oh, hello. I'm Finnegan Archer, the Bloodhaven Bard, and I've been playing Squall on this adventure. And it's been... Don't give me that face like
Sorry.
you didn't see that coming.
I just didn't expect you to say his name like that.
All right. Well, anyways, you can find me on Twitter at Bloodhaven Bard. I appear on Chaotic Tiefling shows from time to time. Mostly the show that I co-host with my friend Jessica Skellington, What Streams May Come. And I know everyone's buzzing about that show today because cast members for Macbeth just got their invitations today. So
Cue
It's
April
a
going
big-
to look at her email right now.
the scramble that just happened. It's a big cast and a big show, so we're still holding our breaths that everyone's going to accept their roles, and hopefully they can. But if and when they can't, everyone keep your eyes peeled if you are on the cast roster to be considered. But yeah, that's my biggest project now. Also,
Are you saying that's your biggest project right now?
well, right now because this is over. Like,
Are
don't.
you sure about that?
Well, as this is wrapping, you see, it was tied. You see, it was tied. You see, with D&D Surprise Party, and then this one's closing. I'm passing the baton, the javelin, if you will, that I can never.
You're not very good with that javelin.
I'm not good with that javelin. It's gonna be I'm feeling it fumble in my hands as I speak.
Just keep
Phrasing.
the bread coming.
Phrasing.
Just keep the bread coming. That's all that we want.
Oh, you'll get your bread. You'll get your bread. No
I
worries.
love how Finn completely also forgets that he's in another long-term campaign.
I was getting to that, but I got interrupted by a seagull. The other long-term campaign that I'm in right now is Utharian Legends, every other Sunday on Chaotic Tiefling at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I got the time right. That's the other thing I like to do is not get my times right. I like to tell the internet what my call time is and just invite them to show up then. Anyways, so those are the places you can find me. I stream D&D. I do video game stuff, and I do a lot of comic book stuff as well on Twitter. So at Bloodhaven Bard is where to find me. And I feel like I've talked for too long. So
I'm going to go ahead and throw out that next week you might see Finn's face somewhere else on another YouTube channel because of a thing. So everyone keep an eye out on the Rock Punch. I can only say this because I also work for Rock Punch. But Finn's making his way around. So, and
phrasing again?
you're the Bloodhaven Bard. It's on
I am
brand.
the Bloodhaven Bard. Load the Bard cannon.
There's words I would like to say that I probably can't say on Twitch.
Fair enough.
Okay. Anyways.
Boy, I wish I had one of those Slady's fans all of a sudden.
I've got an imaginary one.
April, no one's supposed to know about us.
Put that meat popsicle
You
away
mean
already.
you and me?
What else?
I thought. Oh, you're right. That was a secret.
Shush your meat popsicle face.
Yes, dear.
All right.
Okay, we're just gonna throw the basketball right over to Jenna.
I don't know if I can catch it.
Dunk.
Okay. Hi, guys. I'm Jenna K. You can find me on Twitter at Jenna K or on Instagram at Jenna Carts. I am a graphic artist and I do that art thing. I played Tilly Hackbranch, the pink tiefling artificer, and I did that. That's what I did.
Yes, you did. Yes, you
Back to
did,
you,
dear.
Babs.
Yes, you did.
All right. This is the most awkward introduction. I love all of you so much. And last but not least is Nikki.
My fault.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Nikki. We were just talking about this. I don't blush for these introduction things because I'm amazing. Have you seen me lately?
Yeah,
I mean,
My
you're
God.
fantastic.
My God. You can follow me on the Twitters at TheWigDM or at SladiesATL, also on Twitter and on Twitch. I do Monday Crochet and Play, where I crochet a baby blanket and play cringy games. I help produce with Siren Song with Love on Thursdays and Hunt for the Heart Shards on Fridays over at the Sladies ATL Twitch stream. You should go check it out and enjoy all those beautiful, wonderful content because until the end of May, that's pretty much the only time you're going to see me. And then I'm going to be gone for a minute because I'll be having a baby. So.
And then I take over.
And then April takes over.
I'll still take over.
So, yeah, come check us out over there. By God.
Bye.
guys.
This was an experience.
Oh, that's shame.
Well, you know what? No. Oliver, come here. Oliver, come here. Oliver, come here.
Y'all get to see that what we get to see in the behind the scenes.
Come here.
Yes, we get the baby.
He's the kid.
Sweet
it's not
Bobby.
chaotic tiefling without a little chaos.
Come here. No. Come here.
Also, a bit of chaos.
Just a wee
We
bit.
are
Wow.
we are
Sweet
chaos.
Bobby.
Hi.
It's a wee, it's a wee bar. It's a wee bairn.
Say, what do you want to say? What do you have to say to everybody?
Same.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Cool. You're gonna go back to playing Sesame Street games? Okay.
Very important.
All
Normally, I
right.
did not have it in my contract that I would perform tonight.
Yeah. No. This
You're not
is my
performing.
off night.
Yeah, right. All right, you guys. So it has been while it's been 10 weeks of play and a session 0 for each of you before that, it feels like it's flown by. We got started with this back in January?
12th.
Yeah. And-
13th.
13th, right, sorry.
Yeah. But I feel like this whole season has just flown by, and it, of course, just not long enough. We went into this being like, we have this surprise element of not knowing who the cast is, so we don't want the seasons to go too long, otherwise it does lose that sparkle of that moment. Granted, Dragon, being as innovative as he is, added some other surprise elements into the season so that we still kept you on your toes. And I'll let him explain some of those here in a second. But now that we've reached the end, it's like 10 episodes wasn't enough. We just want this to go on forever. Because I've enjoyed watching you guys. Just over here behind the scenes. It's been so fun. And I have to say, y'all are a very colorful group as an adventuring party.
I mean, we actually were colorful.
Yes.
I was gonna say, did you mean that literally?
Yes,
Because
literally.
we were colorful.
Yeah.
Greens and blues and pinks
Yes.
and black feathers.
We yeah, I put everyone's character portraits on the overlay tonight so that everyone can see the characters. You played one last time. Thank you again to Never Ending for wanting to sponsor the show and work with us to get amazing artwork for our characters. They still have their Kickstarter going.
5 more days, I think.
Yes. But we were able to kind of work hand in hand with them and provide them with some fun assets that we got to use for our characters. They might have created an entire bird person for us because we have an Aarakocra. You know, like you do.
As you do.
Like you do. But, you know, no one in this party had to, you know, be a simple human or an elf. Everyone had to be a genasi or an Aarakocra or a tiefling with deer horns or, you know, stuff
I
like
was
that.
just a half orc. I don't know about all these
You
others.
picked us out of what streams may come. You didn't think we weren't going to be extra?
I knew you were going to be extra. I knew.
To be fair, we didn't know what everyone else was playing, so we didn't want to be like, well, I don't know what everyone else is playing. I need to do something.
I don't want to be the boy.
I refuse to play a basic bitch human fighter. Sorry for swearing. I have feelings about human fighters.
Damn.
And now I'm picturing a human fighter that just loves pumpkin spice latte.
Oh my god, I would absolutely play that character. Just wear some Uggs, get a pumpkin spice latte.
Yes.
Same.
Wait.
Yes. So
D&D party that's just the tropiest tropes.
I love it.
Oh my god.
So I'm gonna go ahead and let Dragon say a couple of the fun surprise things that he added into the season to kind of keep everything going, because when we first talked about it, it was just casting everyone and then not letting you know who you were playing with until you all saw each other on screen, which, as we've said, we could not have done in any other community. We've been very fortunate here at Chaotic Tiefling to have such a tight-knit and close community that all love each other and support each other. I don't know how we got so lucky, but we did. I can't wait to see how we continue to grow. But
I mean, it doesn't hurt that the person in charge of it's actually pretty damn cool.
Oh, look at that. You did boop the chaos.
I did.
You did.
I really did, though. And this was part of booping the chaos, because when Dragon came to me and was all like, hey, I really want to do this thing, but the twist is that no one knows who they're playing with until they meet each other for the first time on the first session. And I was like, but I love it. And because we can't do anything normal here. Everything has to be somewhat chaotic, and we just lean into it. And
Just
it
that
works.
wee little bit extra.
But it works for us, and we've been very fortunate that we've been very careful of how we curate the creative things we do here to where it's a very passionate, just a passionate creative space with people who want to support and create and help each other. And I feel like that's why we can do these very off-the-wall things, is because we have that support and everyone loves each other. So it helps. But the last thing I say before I'm going to let Dragon talk about things is, if you have questions for our cast, we do have a prompt going around through the chat. It's !questions, if you need to be reminded. If you want to ask questions to our cast members, please feel free to in the chat, but make sure you use your channel points to highlight your question so that I don't miss it, so that I can add it to the roster of things to ask everybody. So, but we do have some questions that people have pre-asked before tonight, so here in just a second we will get into that. But Dragon, why don't you tell us a little bit about your fun mechanic that you made up?
I gotta tell you, it was a purely spur of the moment thing. And now I'm too bright. God damn it. It was a complete spur of the moment thing because I was like, well, what are we gonna do to keep the surprise element going once everybody knows who they're playing with? I wanted to keep some aspect going. And I had a little bit of extra t-shirt money left. And I said, and I gotta send the shout out to our dear Goblin Katie, because she happened to post something about the last day of the D4 discount at Die Hard Dice. And I went ahead and I ordered their Dire D20, the Mythic Gold set. And this is a chunky boy, let me tell you. And
knock somebody out with that dice.
Oh, yeah. A hobbit would kill people by flinging that thing. Because hobbits are good with throwing stones, in case you didn't know. I know this because I'm a nerd. With a Gandalf hat on, go figure. And I said, oh, this die is just too cool. I wonder if I could use it some way for a surprise party. And then occasionally this old dragon brain works. And I came up with this mechanic for setting up random occurrences that could present either a bane or a boon to whoever the chosen one for that particular episode would be. And it would always be a different person getting chosen each week. And I let the players in on part of it because they actually help in the selection each week. I have them at the start of each session roll a D6. From the number they roll on the D6, that tells me what special rolling system I use with the surprise die. I have 2 or 3 different numbering systems for determining the chosen. And the D6 roll that they do tells me which number system to use. And I do that because I don't want there to be a recognizable pattern. So, and they've all tried to figure it out. They've all tried. They've all said, "What? How does it work? No." And I just feel very fortunate that it worked so well. I did say at the beginning of the run that I would be putting it out on DM's Guild. I'm still planning on doing that, but I have to make it a little bit more generic and a little bit more open for other DMs and GMs to use, because I tailored my tables to Saltmarsh.
Yep.
I table, and that's why I'm going to leave the tables open, except for a few generic things like the blessing that Selmathe got from her patron. That's along those lines. I just happened to luck into the fact that Selmathe had a patron that could bestow something like that.
Yeah.
So it just worked out wonderfully. But I'll leave plenty of blank spaces available so that Dungeon Masters can adapt it to their own campaign, to whatever book they're using, or if they're using their own homebrew, they can tie it into their campaign. They can tie it into their characters even to make it more specific for them. I actually have to make up all new tables now for the next game. But I am still planning on putting that out on DM's Guild, and as soon as I do, everybody will know about it. And
I really love that it gives an while we all love wild magic, I feel like it does give like a nice alternate to having that option. Because as we know, wild magic can be just ridiculous, and we've all had wild magic searches and things get out of hand. But
I have been turned into a plant.
Some
I wasn't even the sorcerer.
Yeah. But I really like that people can have this second option as something that they can either tailor specifically to their campaigns or can add as a extension and more flavor to their games while not having to just have the generic wild magic table. So I'm really excited that you're putting this out on DM's Guild.
Thanks.
I've advocated for that from the start.
And it's because of that, and I know. I mean, I've had Dustin and Devin put some input into it too, and
Oh, good.
and their advice has been helpful on it. I threw a couple of things, and I was asking their advice on a few other things. Like I didn't have to use it, thank goodness. The resurrection rules,
Yeah.
I was using them, but because we're not in the situation where we can all pull from the bag of marbles, we had to come up with a way of doing
Yeah.
it, and so we were talking about using a combination of die rolls, and I would have like marbles here virtually
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah.
But it's just been so much fun, and I made a couple of other house rules that I adapted from other places here and there, and just to try to switch it up a little bit.
I love it.
That's why I use Deborah Ann Wall's rules for helping that she put forth on relics and rarities.
Yep.
I used the D4 rules for critical damage too, because it was so good, and it actually saved their lives a few times.
Yeah.
Selmathay with natural 20 Eldritch blasts.
Yeah.
Selmathay is the ultimate glass cannon.
Yeah.
Because she almost died 3 times.
Oof.
Like, she was within 2 hit points twice.
I'll be honest with you, Sarah. There were 2 times that you would have been dead.
All of the juicy details comes out in the Fireside Chat.
And
I do appreciate that. I'm rather attached to her.
I know at least one time you were saved by the fact that the healer was a flyer.
Yeah.
They will just,
That
like,
first time, yes.
April, you came a lot closer to dying than you thought the other night.
Oh, I don't know how. I 100% believed I was dead.
No.
When you said I had that many hit points, I was like, no, you killed me. I know what that damage does. That is not right.
But I wasn't about to kill y'all 2 episodes to go.
I mean, no. See, you could have killed me. They could have tried to resurrect me.
Ooh, that would have been so fun.
But
Johnny,
I mean,
like,
then you would. Yeah, we would have had a few more episodes.
Yeah.
So I mean,
But-
again, you could have killed me.
But I didn't want to ruin it for anybody, and I didn't want to kill anybody. I mean, the thing is too, you guys are still.
He hasn't been talking to Dustin and Devin enough.
No, see, this is why we need to keep moving so that we can get to higher levels and then Dragon can feel freer to kill us.
Yeah.
Get those emotional
Yeah.
gut punches in right there.
I'm going
gotta.
to be studying D4 episodes. Believe me.
Bring it.
Dragon, once you kill your first player character, it just becomes easier after that.
Or my first NPC.
No, you can always kill your NPCs. It's great.
No.
Any of my NPCs.
Back off, man.
I mean, you
Yeah.
have the ability. You are in charge.
Or
You know, the
you
first
just
player
let
you
your
kill's the
players
hottest.
accidentally kill beloved NPCs
What's the
Mhm.
worst that could
because
happen?
they don't
Uh,
pay attention.
Oh, by the way, that shirt will be ready by the weekend.
Yes.
Why are you giving him ideas? Why don't you say that?
Anyways,
Because I said it before every game, and guess what? We survived
No,
every game. We
Not
came out
you.
to the
I'm
end of
talking
every
about
game.
Babs and
Oh,
the whole
what?
Oh, okay.
have your player kill a beloved NPC. You stay away from my Goliath.
I
I'm
may be
sorry, those are
speaking
my
from
emotional
experience.
support adoptive parents.
We live here now.
I may be speaking from experience, and it may be the chaotic tiefling that caused these issues. So
Yeah, but that tracks.
yeah.
Ooh.
Anyways, let's
So-
get into some questions. So this one is for all of our players. Has this experience been different from any other D&D games, streamed or not, that you've played in? We'll just start here at the top with April.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know who I was coming in to play with. I couldn't build my character to fit. I tend to make my character fit the group.
Okay.
And I'm like the last person to choose. So being the first person was really stressful.
Oh yeah, I forgot that you were.
Yeah, I was
the
first.
first session 0.
So I was sitting there going like, what do we need? Do we need this? Do we don't.
You had
doesn't
the
matter.
most. You had the most choices of
And it was
everybody.
the hard. It was so hard.
And the fact that that my poor pitiful little computer at the time couldn't take the rolling made it that much.
But we made it work. We
We
made it work.
We made it work.
All right.
Yeah, I think that because
Yeah.
I mean that even though we're like a group now and our characters love each other and we're family, it felt like we actually had to get to know each other.
Yeah. Because no one knew anything
Yeah, there
about
was
each other
no
before the first session.
pre-game getting to know each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all on the fly. Like we couldn't do any of the backstory lineups. Anything.
No.
On the fly.
You all bonded so fast though. Like within like that first session, y'all were all like besties for life, and it's like you've known each other like maybe a day.
Yeah.
In game time. But Sarah, what about you?
So similar for me, but also I usually will play a character that already has some kind of tie with another character in the group.
Yeah.
So like playing a one shot with my family,
Mm-hmm.
I played a rogue that was basically this noble kid that was off having an adventure, and then Robin played a fighter or a barbarian, I forget which, but he was basically on retainer just trying to make sure that this kid didn't get killed having fun. And so that's like kind of where I tend to go. So it was really weird to be like, well, I'm coming in from out of nowhere. This is great.
I love it. I love it. Finn, what about you?
So I know that initially when I was revealed to be one of the players, everyone was like, well, what character? And everyone was like, why are you not a bard? Because I bard main so much that it's very rare for me to play other classes. Not because I dislike other classes or anything like that. I just feel like bards are fun, and
He said to me, I want to do something different this time.
I did. And that was what was different about this game, is that because of the nature of this game, this is my chance to do something just off the wall, something to be absolutely weird about.
You actually went through two other possibilities before landing on Squall being a druid. Because first you were looking at a forge cleric.
We did. We were looking at forge clerics because I knew that even though I wanted to get away from being a bard, I didn't know what the party needed, but you always need a healer. And all of my bards have been in some way healer bards. Some of them have been stronger in healing, some not so much, but I got to have at least that, one healing spell security blanket. And so I was looking at classes that were also good at healing. We eventually landed on druid.
Right, just before druid, we were thinking about a ranger. And then, one step away from ranger into cleric is druid. How about that? And then you got with being the Aarakocra, and then you had the idea of making him a raven, which I loved.
There we go. That was like the big kicker that made Squall like happen in that moment. Like I did no prep for my session 0. I just walked in going, I got some ideas of some things that I might want to do, but then we're just going to do things. And eventually, I think that was the moment that once we decided, okay, he's going to be an Aarakocra and we're going to make him a raven. That's when Squall clicked in my head. And it was that, this is something completely different for me. This is something new, and we'll just see where it goes from there. But like everybody said, we had to learn to be a party on the fly. Still pun intended.
Look at his session 0, and you'll see the spark when he realizes what he's just made. Because he got, he just got so happy from it, and that just made me feel so good too. Once that final piece clicked in there.
I feel like watching Finn's face is like a running thing across all the streams I am in. Everyone like, Finn's face! Look at Finn's face right now. Because
it's a good face.
Emote.
There's a whole subplot on every What Streams May Come show just happening on my face. And so yeah, if you go back and watch my Session Zero, I'm undoubtedly you can see the moment where I get excited and I finally like meet Squall in my mind. So it was a lot. That part was a lot of fun, being able to like create a character instead of what we normally do, which is like, I'm gonna go sit here with my source books and sit here with my stuff and like flip through and find what I want my character to be. I was just chatting with Dragon. We were bouncing things back and forth, and it became, Squall was not like completely my creation. It felt like I was half creating him and half meeting him, and that was really cool. And that's one of the big reasons that Squall will live rent-free in my brain for the rest of my days.
All right. Jen.
Oh, man. Yeah, so this is definitely different than any other game I've ever played, just in and of itself, because this was my first stream. Like, I've never done this before, so that was new. And like a really interesting experience. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It was really cool. But yeah, it's not the first time I've actually played at a table where I didn't know too much about what was most of the games I've played in have been lower level games with mostly newbie players who've never played before, and like show up to the table last minute with your sheets like, I just did this, let's do the thing. So like, this is, even though like in the session zero and that kind of thing, like we made our characters in session zero, it's still, I feel like, one of the most put together characters that I've ever run. Interesting enough.
Tilly is like big time just for me.
Oh.
Yeah, you made her come so alive. Seriously, you all made your characters come alive. But the fact that this was your first stream doing this, you brought her so much to life, I think.
Y'all are gonna make me cry. Don't do that.
I'm like that the sitar in Moulin Rouge, you know, I only speak the truth. I only speak the truth.
All right, and Nikki.
So I've definitely played in like drop-in games before where you never know who you're going to be playing with. Someone's playing with a balloon behind the computer. But
there's a drop-in.
There's a drop-in right there.
Hashtag mom moments.
Hashtag mom moments. Oh, good. I did unmute myself. Hi.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
All right.
Whoa.
He's been quietly sitting off to the side as soon as I start talking. He's like, I just want to come here and play with my balloon. All right. You're just gonna have to hear that in the background.
It's fine. We embrace the chaos here. It's fine.
I'm not sorry at all. But to do it in a campaign setting is completely new and kind of exciting for me. And as far as the as Ludani goes, yeah, I was the last person, and I was like, okay. So far, all I've heard is that we don't have a lot of hitters in this group. Like, well, not hitters. We don't have a lot of people that can take hits. Like, we don't have a barbarian, we don't have a fighter. So I was like,
that's right.
I could make a pretty hefty cleric for healing. So not a forge cleric. I was thinking something else. And then I was like, or I could do a paladin. What about a pirate paladin? What about a very reluctant paladin?
There it is.
There she is. Just because I've made that joke with a few people before, how paladins and warlocks are pretty
Surprise!
Can you go play with this in the living room?
Surprise balloon.
Yeah, go play with it in the living room.
Love it.
It's perfectly tilly colored.
It's very tilly colored. We love pink in this house.
So, but I do like that Ludani ended up being like the most like paladin ever.
I don't want to do this. I don't want to be here.
The thing is too,
so
for someone who is so moist,
Very moist.
Ludani is very dry.
She's a pretty dry character. Like you did get like a little hint of it when
I'm done playing games.
you're done playing games. Okay, you can go watch TV in the living room.
Little dude, I feel that some days.
I'm done playing games.
Yeah.
The balloon's over there. Goodbye. He'll be back. They always come back.
Always do that.
But yeah, no, she she came out just a little bit when we got to like go to the bar and everything like that. But as far as like, her being, oh, thank you, you're so sweet. Yes. Hi. Oof. As far as like, just being a, I wanted to play a character that would carry the group more than anything else. I recognized that I didn't know who I was going to be playing with, but I did have a feeling that I would be not a backseat gamer, not a rules lawyer, but just somebody that's done it enough times that it's just like I'm ready to call shenanigans, but also like hurt the kittens if we really need to. Even though Ludani herself was very bad at that.
Such protective instincts. I mean, I'm
3 words.
Blank on where in your life you're drawing.
I have no idea.
How are you so good at
Steal
wrangling
the cannon.
No. Absolutely. Steal the cannon. Would not call people by their proper names.
This way.
There is a dragon down there.
Your relationship with Arden is definitely an interesting dynamic.
There is.
Sometimes Artie, sometimes Archie.
There's a lot of dragons in Mommy's room, that's right.
And on the TV too.
And
you're a dragon.
Honestly, typically one question that we would typically ask at a fireside chat like this is, how did your character get created? But luckily, we have that whole process for each of you on YouTube. The link is in the chat. If you want to see the creation of each of their characters and that whole entire process, go check out their session zeros because they're hilarious and amazing, and it's really cool getting to see these characters come to life before they know who they're playing with, and then seeing the journey that these characters have had.
I mean, because Nikki was actually the last one to make her character, so she knew the other classes and races. That was it, though. That was it. She didn't know who was playing or anything specific about them. She just had the basic class and race for everybody else. And everybody else did, except for April. Everybody else had the ones who went before them, except for April, I'm sorry.
Yep.
But you got the most to pick from. So it kind of balanced out.
Yeah.
April set precedent because Dragon's like, okay, so the first player decided to play a half-orc rogue. I was like, oh, we're going oddball. All right, here we go.
But not just half-orc rogue. Mark of finding.
He didn't tell. He didn't say that part. Just half-orc rogue.
Which
I was like,
makes me kind of glad that no one played you didn't play a ranger, because then that would have been useless.
Oh, I know we confused people in the chat when I went back and watched. It's like, wait a minute, she's a rogue. Why does she have Hunter's Mark?
Yeah,
because I'm Mark of Finding.
Yep.
From my mom. I get it from my mama.
Right, because she's actually a half orc, half elf.
Mm-hmm.
My mom was House Thrask elf, whatever it has to be to get the mark. I forgot now. I knew it all in January.
I have no idea what Ludani's parentage would have been. Didn't even consider it as like, do I need to? Are you guys curious about it?
I know what my parents are. Like they're just like up the river. We can go visit them.
Are you
They sent me
sure?
here.
Because in one episode you said they were dead.
I know that was a lie. No one rolled deception. I put it in the chat that she lied about that.
I remember that.
That was a really funny moment.
Yeah,
I believe
no
you.
one asked me.
And
if it
I
was telling the
watched your
truth or not.
session 0.
Oh my god, that was during the Squall baby flying.
Yeah. Yes, that was so funny.
That was so
Yeah.
funny.
That whenever Squall learned to fly, his parents just played catch with him.
Hey,
That is
my parents
still
are
one
dead.
of my favorite.
Son, let's go out. Let's go outside and play
funny.
catch.
Yeah.
She had no idea how to respond to that because she was socially awkward. And
Yep.
My
my
parents are
parents are
dead.
dead.
Wasn't that the moment I'd been like downstairs talking to Hildy and I walked in on this conversation?
Yes.
It
That
took
was a
a
cutaway.
second for that to register what you were talking about. Like the gears turned and then I was like, oh.
But when it came to improv, we established very early on that April and myself improving together was just a recipe
Yep.
for some.
Y'all play off each other so
Absolute
well.
gold.
You do.
So well.
First hide and seek
Which is why you
game.
do. Which is why you did all those commercials so wonderful.
And so I realized, wow, they have left Alazira and Squall in the same room for a while. They are going to come back to a scene.
Yeah, they're gonna get into some trouble.
All right. So on kind of the topic of like that whole moment with Squall and Alazira talking about their parentage and stuff, what was probably your favorite moment that you've had with your character? Either a cool moment of something your character did or just something that came as like a character discovery. Because I know that y'all were exploring these characters. Like you did what prep you could, but you didn't know what dynamic was gonna bring what the dynamic of the party was going to bring out of your characters. So we'll start. Let's start with Jen.
Oh, okay. I'll go first. So that's kind of a hard question because there were so many that I loved being a part of, especially when it's, a moment you're having with another player.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of my favorite things, and I think I talked about this in like our roundtable either last week or the week before. No, it was last week. The whole bada boom thing with April, and then what that got to bring up in part of Tilly's character that was something that was just in my brain for my own reference, and I never expected it to come out, especially on the stream because it's only 10 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
But I was coming from a place of like Tilly, like she's so smart and she's so cerebral and talented, but she's so inexperienced.
Yeah.
And one of the things that she's still trying to one of the lessons she's still learning is that you can make these awesome, amazing, incredible things, but your actions have consequences.
Yep.
And
Yeah, I don't think either of our
go ahead.
either of us knew what that was gonna do.
Oh no.
Character, I loved both of our characters were like, never again.
Yeah, exactly. And that was just an organic moment that came up where I could be like, oh, hey, so this is her seeing the actions, like the consequences of her actions.
This is the chaos theory in action, though, with you doing that, because you took the most benign, and I mean it. It's in that supplement that I got. It's the most benign item in there, and y'all turned it into a weapon of death.
Oh, and a speedboat.
And a speedboat.
That cup
That
might
was
have been the most benign thing, but we used that in
that
ways
was the greatest
that,
gift for this party.
So good.
That was like the best random object we got.
Oh my gosh.
So anyways, I start splashing.
But just the fact that you thought up such incredible uses for it.
I also, I did write splash on the bottom of it.
Yes.
Dragon.
Amazing.
Oh, that's
cup.
awesome.
So now forever, this cup will be the splash cup. I know this is not the look of
and
what
it
it was
is
supposed to
hanging
be.
in a place of honor.
But
And
yes,
that's
this is
canon.
Literally.
Mhm.
Ah.
A water cannon, yes.
It's literally canon, yeah.
All right,
Oh.
let's throw it over to Finn and Squall.
Okay, so there were so many fun things to discover with Squall. Which is like seriously, this character unexpectedly became like one of my favorites that I've ever played before in my life. He will live rent-free in my mind and in my heart until both stop functioning. Just because like he showed up in so many ways that I didn't expect him to. There were just so many moments that I just went, oh, well, Squall will do this. And then I tried it, and everybody's reaction to it was so big, I was like, well, keep going. Let's keep doing that. And even his voice, like, everyone freaked out as soon as I voiced him for the first time. I was workshop. Like, if you watch my session 0, I, like, try a little voice work right at the end there, and it doesn't come out to be what Squall ends up being in play. But, like, it was just like one morning in the shower, I was just like, honestly, to be a fly on the wall while I'm doing like bird calls in the shower would be just amazing. But eventually I landed.
So you found yourself in the shower. Go on.
I did. Like so many others. Anyways.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. So like even like down to his voice and like the discovering his voice, discovering like everyone's reaction to it, and just like leaning all the way into everybody's reactions has been really fun. But I think what was great was these are baby characters. You know, we all started on level 1, and starting on level 1 for a short, limited campaign is like it's all discovery. You're not going to be doing legendary feats. You're going to be just all discovering yourself. And so once it came time to select Dwal's druidic circle, that became like okay, well, what would Squall really do here? Squall's already kind of a creature. He's an Aarakocra with a lot of these different abilities inherent in himself that a lot of people would choose for their wild shapes. And so he didn't really have a reason to go Circle of the Moon. He's already got fantastic skills in that area. He's going to wild shape anyway. So when I landed on Circle of the Shepherd and the fact that he could then speak to animals at will, no more need for speak with animals spell, and then that he got his totem spirits were one of my favorite moments because working that into play, not just that he has totem spirits, but that he just realized he had totem spirits because he really doesn't know why. Like, Squall's very new to being a druid in the first place. He, and that's kind of a common trait of druids is that it just kind of happens to them. Very few are born that way. But he's kind of discovering what's going on. There was a whole, I had to kind of do some scaffolding about where Squall got his druidic abilities, but it never really came up in play. So maybe in future adventures, we'll discover Squall's druid backstory.
You came into the totem thing so organically during the play, too.
That's what I was really thinking is that, the first one I summoned was the Hawk Spirit, and it was in a moment where Squall was just very upset that people weren't dying when he tried to kill them. And so, just the idea that, that emotional energy built up until he released the Hawk Spirit, and he was surprised about it just as much as everyone else was. Same thing with discovering his wild shape for the first time, where he became a little kitten, and everyone just really wanted to tackle Squall.
And they ended up tackling each other.
Sorry about that, Elzira.
And
it's all good.
And then, when the party was really getting battered, and so Squall just all of a sudden needed everyone to be safe and summoned the bear spirit the same way. That was a lot of fun for me, trying to play out how Squall is discovering himself through this whole process and discovering being a part of a group, because he's more of a loner at the beginning. Very much keeps everybody at distance but does his job kind of deal. And that kind of came full circle in the final session when it's discovered, where we all circled back around to where Squall's upset that the job doesn't seem done, but even though the job's not done, he's got people now. So it was very much the real treasure was the friends we made along the way kind of moment for Squall, and it was great. But while I'm talking about Squall and the fact that he was discovering himself, I felt like I was discovering myself while I discovered new stuff about myself as I played Squall, because like I've said, this is branching out for me. I never played a druid. I never played without a lot of like backstory and writing in the character dynamics beforehand. And so in honor of the fact that I was playing a druid, just recently I got some brand new dice. So I'm going to actually turn off my background real fast to show you my new dice. Can I do that for you? Awesome.
Go for
Yes.
it.
Show us the dice.
Show us the dice. Show us those click-clack match
I have to turn off my background so you can actually see, because they're green dice for being a druid. But
Yay!
these lovely dice.
Love those.
This is part of a whole set that my friend Naoma Rose has put together.
Who's in chat?
Who's in chat?
Oh, who is in
Neoma's
chat?
in chat.
Naoma. She is here, but
Those are so pretty.
Those are gorgeous.
So I am extremely lucky to know Naoma, because she is doing class dice where she's dreaming of putting together and putting out a set for all different classes. And you might have noticed that the D20 for the druid has a nice little leaf on there.
Yeah.
And each of the classes does get their own 20
I love that.
symbol right there. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and pop her Ko-Fi coffee. Have we decided how we pronounce that site yet?
No.
All right, cool. Well,
Ko-Fi. Ko-Fi.
I'm just going to pop in her link real
Ko-Fi,
fast so you guys can
Ko-Fi,
go check
Ko-Fi,
her out. If
Ko-Fi.
you want to support her and make sure that these dice get into more people's hands and you can play your class of choice with your special dice, go support Naoma. She is amazing. But like I said, it was just him discovering his nature that really got me. I would like to use a bonus action on this round to mention the seagulls, because while him discovering his druidic nature was my favorite part of playing Squall, the seagull squad was just fan-freaking-tastic. And it was amazing.
I look forward to that every week.
Because we made... Oh, Naoma's correcting me.
Yeah,
He
those
was
are
saying,
not the druid dice.
Those are the ranger, and the druid had the wolf. I was like, but wolves are like hunters. And well, now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
And knowing is half the battle. Go, Joe. But yes, second favorite thing about playing Squall was
That's why Finn and I alone in a stream together is a dangerous thing.
it is very dangerous.
Just keep an eye out for it, though.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen some more. But yeah, Dragon and I are telepathic brothers, and so we get into that mode where we play off each other really well. And I just felt like the Squall and his goals dynamic was just that on full display for all of you. So those were my favorite things about Squall and getting to play him.
I love it. Nikki, what about you?
I loved just every time Ludani would talk about something that was mildly important or seriously important, and just dropping it like a rock in the middle of a conversation, and then immediately walking away from it, and people are just like, wait, no, come back, what is this? What is this?
What did you do?
What did you do specifically with Arden? Because that poor guy. Is that his name, Arden?
Arden, yes,
Okay.
you actually got it right.
Just that whole bit was always very funny. And that was just a me thing. Like, if I were somebody who really didn't care but knew that I was kind of trapped in this situation, I don't want to be like wholly disrespectful, but I also don't want to completely give these people, these stuffy, very, very stuffy people.
But Hannah's cool.
Hannah's cool. Yeah, we like Hannah. But yeah, just Artie, hey, how's it going? Benny, just.
Oh, Benson. Oh, good Lord.
poor Benson. But my favorite moments from Lulu that like will live rent free in my mind, that I will think on to often, were asking Arden for the pearl and getting it, and her being like, "Oh, you do know I'm probably not gonna be able to bring this back." And he's like, "Yeah, I know." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And then, and then essentially proposing with Tilly I was just like, this is all coming together. This will be funny, and nothing will come of it because my girl does not know how to flirt. She just gets into these situations that are very flirty.
Well,
and she
the
does not
looks on
recognize
everybody's faces when he said, and I kneel down to Tilly and give her the little box.
it.
I could picture Babs's eyes going,
Are we gonna ship it? Like, no, she's just giving it to her, and she's like, all right, here you go, I got it for you. Okay, bye.
I mean, all of our this whole cast, IRL, we are hardcore shippers. That's our personality.
Mm-hmm.
So when we got on a show together, there were going to be some shipping moments that happened.
Yes. Look, well, that's a question.
there's more shipping tie-ups here than
There's a whole
other question.
That's another thing.
Specifically about that, we will cover that later.
You're gonna get to it.
Yeah.
But
more shipping clog-ups in the Suez Canal.
Yep. But there was that moment, and then there was the moment where she both. It was in the same moment when they were fighting the skeletons, when she used both the shaped water to bend the holy water and hit a skeleton with it.
That was so cool.
And then also the divine smite with like the wave coming off of her arm and going up the sword to hit the skeleton. We're both just like, look at her, she's so cool, right? She can try.
The water bending the holy water was brilliant.
Yes.
And that's just, I just said, rule of cool. Boom.
Yep.
You got it.
Yep.
It's just like, I just wanted her to do this really cool thing. And, it was great. And then she got to do it with the cup as well, which was also pretty rad. Filling
the splash cup with the holy water too. Again,
so
turning the most mundane thing in that book
into a
told you,
canon.
I love stupid things. You give me a stupid thing, I'll make it work.
Yep.
All right.
Sorry. Oh my god, what was I going to say? And I completely blanked. The damage reduction protection thing. Anytime I was near somebody and just being like, block, take some of the damage away.
The entire party is just like, thank you for that.
It's just like, this is all I
anyone else picture that as like super attractive?
I mean, obviously.
Like every time she took the damage, like I pictured like Ludani's like, I got this. And I'm like,
no, it's like cherry blossom petals.
yeah.
I pictured a cat just doing a.
Perfect. Great.
I'm sorry.
I imagined like little chibi anime versions with hearts in the eyes after the shield came out.
Yeah,
The shield
that's
comes up and
Alizira.
I'm like,
Every time Ludani protects someone, Alizira just has anime heart eyes.
Yeah.
So
Ludani does that thing, and then the whole party is just.
No, that's just April.
Coming from off the right.
that's fair. That's fair. Speaking
That's
of April, what were your favorite cool moments or character discovery things?
Well, I know one of the things I have to talk about is one of the things you told me to talk about. So Alizira,
That I told you to talk about?
the whole group. Hold on.
okay.
You'll understand why.
Oh, okay.
So I she is not at all what I built or pictured. From the first moment that I had to act like her in our session 0 to game 1, she changed completely multiple times. I didn't expect her to care about people. So her whole goal was to get a job on a ship and start exploring the oceans and like travel and be on a ship. Like that was her only thing. So like the whole making friends and getting the party is the exact opposite of that.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted nothing to do with any of this. She'd been told to keep her head down and stay quiet and just get on a boat. But she met these crazy people and loved them. And I know they're not all here yet, but my sea otter showed up. And so one of the things that I started having Alizira do is whenever someone had a really hard time, Alizira was not the most socially conscious. She was very awkward. So she would leave them a little gift, a little carving she would make for them that she kind of represented with everyone. So we have the otter, which is Sarah's. You can see she's freaking out right now. We also have an owl, a cat. So the owl was for, not Alizira, Ludani, because she always knew where to get the answers from. And something that flies is the exact opposite of something that goes in the water. A cat, which I already had gotten for Finn, because he turned into a cat. And it was weird. There's a bunny. Oh, no, the bunny was for Selmathe. The bunny is Selmathe because the bunny is, like, kind of quick. But don't piss him off because bunnies can get fierce.
Sharp, pointy teeth.
Yeah. And then Tilly's sea otter because
Selmathe
she's
does
from the
have
caves.
fangs.
And river otters play in the water and are very happy and joyful. And so everyone got a corresponding animal, and in game, they all got a character left on their bed. And in real life, I will be sending you all your characters.
I love
when
this
they get
so
here.
much.
So cute.
We found that out. We found that out last week in our off-camera roundtable that she revealed to us that she was doing that, and I got my hat.
Yeah, and you got the hat because you led us on the adventure. And Babs is
There's
getting a
so
lot of
much
drinks
feeling.
from me because she had to handle us. But it was a little thing that Alizira started doing. She started kind of, because she's from the river area, and she just started representing people with things around her that she liked.
I love that so much.
Yeah, I didn't tell anyone the reasoning. Like, they all thought they were just getting a random animal. I'm like, nope, I have a little thing written out for each of you. I'm waiting to see if anyone catches on.
How dare you make me feel emotions?
Right?
How do you make Ludani feel emotions?
That's also true.
Oh, Ludani's just sitting there, just clutching it, just like, no.
So yeah,
God
there was a
damn
lot
it.
of great moments, like
Yeah.
the cup and everything else. But I think that was one of the things that I'm truly like. I do little things for games, like as a person, like I'll like get character art and frame it. But this is the first time my character has done something like that,
Yeah.
and I don't. She
I
just
love
fell
it.
in love with you guys.
I love
If
it.
I can just throw something in there too,
Yeah.
the innovations that the way you acted with some of the stuff, like when you found the stone,
It was
and
just a
then
rock.
you didn't let anybody know, and then you just happened to bring it out and start playing with it on the table, and that's how they found out that you had it.
It was just a rock. Like I don't know what magic stuff is. I
Well,
didn't feel anything weird,
and
so
it kind of worked out in this really like weirdly cool way because that was the session where you had to like step away, and you stepped away right as Alizira found that rock. So you legitimately didn't really know what this rock was that you had. You just know you had it.
You were, I know, you were waiting for it to be hit with see if you were the chosen one, if you were going to get something. If
And
you
then
were
I
gonna
got
get
And you
something.
were.
And then you had to step away. I'm like, oh no!
But it really worked out because
It did.
I loved how it worked out.
yeah.
Because I think it was more organic and natural way for everyone to find out. Like,
Yeah.
if you're out with friends and you find a cool rock on the ground, you put it in your pocket, you don't always tell your friends you found a cool rock on the ground. Not
Sarah has
immediately.
different different opinions about
Look,
that.
I have picked up enough random rocks and had enough friends go stop telling me about the random rocks in your pocket. So
I will never stop telling my friends about the random rocks that I find.
Well, Sarah, get ready for some weird messages now. Just pictures of rocks.
Let's do it, please.
Yes.
Let's
Can I be
go,
on this
rock
text
buddy.
chain?
Yes, rock buddies.
All right, and speaking of Sarah, what about you and Selmathay?
So there's two moments that I really liked at the very beginning and the very end, because the whole first session was dealing with not Selmathay's patron, but like the emissary of the patron. So that like right off the bat was like, okay, this is how those interactions are going to play out. I swear to God, it's like a fucking...
I love that she has a physical reaction every
I
time
know.
you do
The
it.
trauma.
It's
Like,
not
it's-
even like, it's not even Selmathay having the physical, it's me having that reaction because I know something's happening.
That is a conditioned response if I've ever seen one.
Oh my God.
Well, I wanted to make Isidore creepy.
Yeah, it worked so well. And so then like having that happen and 3 times, so then she's used to it and just kind of like, okay, this is the bullshit that I'm dealing with. And so then at the very end, she is like, she's hurt, she's pissed, she just wants to relax for like 2 minutes now that she knows she's never gonna have to go back into that house again. And time stops, and I wasn't like 100% sure, but I almost was like, Isidore, can you hurry it up? And so that would have been really fun, and I'm honestly kind of mad that I didn't, because Oberon would not be happy with that.
Hey, Daddy. Sorry.
Oh God, hey Daddy. I went back and watched
Anyways,
but so something that I didn't get into as much with Selmathay, partly because I genuinely forgot until session 0 came out, is she like has a vision of her destiny. She thinks she knows what she's meant to do, and the Fae thing is what's getting in her way. Like, she does not think that's what she's supposed to be doing. And so part of this is like her coming to terms with like her longer term character arc is the like, oh shit, maybe this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So that's something that I really hope that we can keep moving forward on and do more with. So that was very cool.
Out of curiosity, because now that you mentioned it, I'm very curious. What did you think when Oberon told you he wanted you to stay in that town?
So, like, as a player, I was just kind of like, okay, that's probably good, because I didn't really have a path for her to travel down right now anyways. And so, like, this is the stay with the party. Okay. Selmathay is probably just kind of like, you want me to stay and, like, stay put in another place? I wanted to see things, though, because she'd never been outside her village.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then, like, I didn't click immediately what you were referring to with something older. I figured it out now, but...
You mean after our mid-credit scene?
Yeah.
Okay. Selmathay and Alizera, we're just gonna Thelma and Louise it out of here.
Love it. On a speedboat.
That's part of the other thing is she doesn't want to go to a ship because her father, that's the thing that her dad really wanted her to go do, was go to Saltmarsh, get on a ship, because that's what he did. And she's like, I'm not like you. There's some parental issues there on poor Selmathay, because she doesn't know why she's a tiefling. She thinks her parents are humans, so she's like, why am I horned and winged? What is this? So
I'm supposed to be human. Why am I so horny?
And on that note, we're going to take about a 5-minute break so that we can go refresh our drinks, go do the things, and we will be right back with more questions. Reminder, if you have questions you want to ask the cast, please put them in the chat. Make sure you use your channel points to highlight that question, though, so that I see it and I can add it to the list. But we will be right back.
I don't know if Sarah's...
right, everybody, we are back, and we are ready to get into some more questions. As a reminder, you can totally ask questions in chat to our lovely cast members here. If you want to throw a question up in chat, please make sure that you highlight it using channel points. That way I see it and I can get it on the sheet so that we know that it needs to be asked, because I don't want to miss anything. So, but we're just gonna jump right on in here. This question is specifically for Dragon. How has this experience been different than any other games you've DM'd?
Oh, I think it's safe to say night and day. Because this is, well, first of all, this is the first 5th edition game I ran.
Okay.
And it's also been at least as much as at least 15 years since I've DM'd anything.
Wow.
And I was nervous as hell. I was trying to find a quick one-shot type thing that I could do with some people that I knew to try to warm up for it, and I just never could find it. But you folks made it feel so easy. You made everything come together. It was like so much of it was gifts. So much of what you were doing were gifts. And it gave me springboards for different things. Lug and Hildy were completely different. Where they were going to be completely different. And then I pinged off of something that Tilly said. And that's when I came in with all of a sudden, that was all complete spur of the moment with the whole, your family. That, it just popped in there. There's always the joke about or the meme about how you have the dungeon master that plans everything, and this is the way it's going to be. This is the way it's going to run. And then there's like, okay, well, I guess I can plan maybe a few days in advance and see what happens. And then, of course, there's, okay, I'm going in on the seat of my pants. Y'all, I threw the Ghosts of Saltmarsh book out the door 20 minutes into episode 1.
I was about to say, that was one of my favorite things to find out, was that the first 6 sessions was literally just you making it up to with what they were giving you. And then you were like, okay, but guys, we only have so many episodes, so we actually need to get into the story.
It took us episode 6 to get back to the book.
Yeah.
In the haunted house. But I didn't have a problem with it. I loved it.
Everyone was giving you such good stuff, and you were rolling with it so well that I never would have guessed that you.
So much of it came from the stuff you folks were doing. The little character things here and there, that so many that I can't even begin to even build from. But
we really wanted that cave to play out. We wanted that cave to have.
Okay, the hole is small enough for a small animal. You can now fit into that hole.
Help me, Babs.
Crazy.
Finn can fit in the hole. He could get smaller now.
He's
Phrasing.
not wrong.
We need to. Moving away from that.
That did not come off complimentary.
Anyways, there was nothing in the cave. Dragon established there was nothing in the cave ever.
I had to tell them that. I had to tell them that before we started another
Because Finn was literally asking if he could level up in the middle of the session to get his wild shape so he could, turn into a mouse and crawl through this hole.
Yeah. And finally, I had to say, guys, I'm telling you this right now. There's nothing else at the cave. You don't have to go back there.
I still didn't believe you. Don't believe you.
Nope, she didn't.
I still want to go back to that cave. Something was leaving those bones behind.
It burned down, fell over, and sank into the swamp.
Oh, now we really have to go.
The cave just it just collapsed in.
But there are
It doesn't
still
exist
huge tracts of land to be explored.
Y'all don't know what took that bite out of that shield, do you?
All right.
I'll leave it at that. But that's
but I'm trying to find out.
That's basically what this game has been. So incredible. And I see this game as much a gift to me as anything else, because it was just such a you folks just played things so great and gave me so much to work with that's why I wanted to continue, and that's why we will continue this as soon as we find a way to do so.
I was really excited when you told me who was going to be in the first cast, because I knew you were going to have a good group to work with. Because I knew everyone in this cast they were very strong role players and actors, and we've all worked with them on What Streams May Come.
Yep.
Like, obviously, I know April in person, I know Finn in person, I know Jenna in person, and you and I have a lot of history because of D4. Nikki, have I met you in person?
I don't think so.
Yes.
I don't think I
yes,
have.
You have? Okay.
Yes, it was
Okay.
at one event.
That
but it was
one,
very quick. It was very quick.
ATL D&D event?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Because it was the night you and I actually met in person.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
And then there's that sweet little bean, Sarah. Sitting
yeah,
up there,
and so Sarah, I just know Sarah through What Streams May Come, and then Dragon, we've been internet buddies basically for a few years now because of D4. So I knew most of what you were getting into with these people, and I was so excited for you. And it's been so wonderful to just watch all of this play out. I've just, running tech for this show, I've literally just gotten to just sit back and watch and just be like, this is amazing. I'm over here laughing, and it's wonderful.
It was. That's why I want so bad to get back to these characters again.
Yeah.
I mean, when something that's magical happens, you just know. And the way everybody just came together and everything just fit together and worked together and felt so right together.
Yeah.
And that's why I was losing track of the time, and then I realized it, and Babs and I talked about it, like, oh my God, we only wanted to go 8 episodes, and we're now looking at 10.
Yeah. Well,
So-
and that was the thing, was I was like, we can't do more than 10 because of the nature of the show. As much as we wanted to, it's like, that's unfortunately not the show that this is. I wish it was, but yeah, it was just like, but more. I just want more. I just want more all the time.
I'm worried that's going to happen with every single group that comes after that too.
I know.
Because then I'm going to be the busiest DM in the world.
Yes.
I'll never get to play again. I'll be a forever DM once more.
And all I'm saying is I better see most of these characters in one shots. If y'all are doing charity streams or one shots or anything like that, I better see these characters, because they are wonderful. And they're so colorful that I feel like you can just stick them in anywhere and just still have fun with them. So, but our next question is actually kind of along the lines of everybody. But what was the biggest challenge for you as a player in making the party work? Did you have to change anything to make the group dynamic functional? Were you able to kind of play your character how you thought? Whoever wants to take it first.
I had no problem fitting in. I think we immediately blended really well and made characters that had great like skills with each other.
Mm-hmm.
I think the most difficult part was just at the very beginning when we were like first all trying to be like, okay, so what are we doing? And trying to get that initial, like, why are we talking to this person to begin with? Like, that part was, I think, the most challenging part. But after we got through that and like kind of got through the, okay, we're all like competent, so we can work with each other, we get through that part, I think everything just fell in pretty well.
Yeah.
And I mean, I did actually have something, and I don't think I've mentioned this to you guys before, and this is a thing that Dragon did. So initially the way I was going to play Tilly was very different. She was going to be a lot more gruff than she comes off. And I ended up, because of that little scene in the tavern where we all sit down at the table and kind of like share, okay, who are you and why are you here, essentially. I ended up having, and I tried to, there weren't a lot of opportunities to show this, but I tried to where I could. Tilly's got almost kind of 3 very distinct personality settings. So when she's, you know, with her family, it's one thing. And then when she's with strangers, she's very awkward. She's very shy. Like she's very, and I tried to show that initially. And then, you know, working with the smithing clans, she has to be very like, you know, a lot of times she's the only woman in the room. She's got to, you know, put it down and this is what's going to happen. But there was that one moment where I was not expecting for Dragon to have Hildy be a character. I didn't see that coming. And initially what that did was having Hildy come in and, okay, Hildy's a hack wrench, right? This is your family. This is your clan. And she's got these approval of these other people that are around you. Suddenly the party that's in front of her is very different. They've all shifted to a new category. Yeah. Okay, this is my clan. Like family is clan and clan is family. This is how I'm going to treat these people now. And it just sort of forced me to shift the way I was going to interact with them going forward.
I love it. And I really love the relationship that came from Lug and Hildy and you.
I love them.
It was so pure and wonderful.
When you took Lug's hands and said, "But we're family." Oh my! I had to hold back the choking.
And then Squall just having his moment with Hildy in the finale of just
that was
like
beautiful,
just a bigger nest, and it's just like y'all stop making me feel things, please.
Well,
oh please, dear, you make me misty.
When it comes to how, like, I know the question was, how did we play differently than we normally play in order to make the party work, in order to make the dynamic? I'm going to just go ahead and draw a target right on my forehead, so I'm going to get roasted in the chat. I know it, but I kind of play face characters a lot, like being the face of the party, being the talker, the schmoozer, the bard. Like it's just the whole brand. And so playing, not just playing out of class mechanically, but role playing as someone who's not always talking, someone who's not always the mastermind behind the plan, someone who's not always doing those things was a little bit different, to a point where I was just like, okay, I had to really change my focus from what Squall was about to say, instead to what is Squall doing in the background right now, and like trying to and that's what this game became, was what is Squall doing in the background. For me, it was what's Squall doing in the background, because he's going to be able to interject in a minute, but being that guy that was just kind of waiting. And yeah, that almost became my master gesture for Squall right there. Was just he's sitting there with his claws, just kind of like tapping them together. But
with the ball bearing.
What are we doing next? Should
Most
we
of the
be
time playing with ball bearing?
Oh my gosh, catching all the ball bearings.
That was one of my favorite things that came out of that. Is just like, here, distract Squall. Don't let him steal the shiny things. Give him his own.
Yeah, I that is the only thing I use those ball bearings for. Really, was for Squall.
Well, when you have 1,000 of them.
And I'll go ahead and throw this out there. If you guys have not gone to Spotify or wherever you get your podcast and checked out some of the Nerd Espresso podcasts, they are fantastic. And there's a good one where from where Black Lightning himself, Cress, is talking about role playing, and one of the big pieces of advice he says is make sure that your character is not completely different from who you are. There's still an anchor, and so and that's where all the bards kind of come from for me. That's the anchor, the performer anchor. Well, with Squall had to get a different anchor because Squall was not a performer and wasn't going to be that way. So the idea that Squall is always impatient and wanting to be in the air, hated walking, wanted to always be doing something else, I was actually like, okay, well, I'll just hone in on my ADHD for Squall, because Squall is just that low level, he's an ADHD introvert, whereas I'm definitely an ADHD extrovert, but he's an ADHD introvert, and so like it just all that manifested in his little things like that. So I had to kind of, when we were talking about what do we do differently, I had to switch gears to how do I play a background character? How do I play the guy that is kind of distracted and not really in the conversation he's having?
I noticed a couple of times you made a point of saying, I'll wait and watch what Selmathe's doing.
Yeah.
Because Selmathe had way more confidence than Squall did. Squall had not a lot of confidence, and he was just sitting there like, well, there's this other flyer over here that has so much confidence. I will follow her lead.
That was a big surprise for me, too, to be honest, that I had 2 flyers in the group. Because most DMs that I've read about and seen, so many of them have written about, oh, God, no, we can't have any flyers in an early part of a campaign or a low part of the campaign because it's too much of an OP and this and that.
No. What?
It allowed you to access so much. It also helped save a lot of time.
Yeah.
As well. Like when you guys going upstairs that you couldn't go up the stairs, you went in through the window upstairs, and of course you did stir up a nest of spiders, but
that's not because she was a flyer. That's because Selmathe was just trying to cover all the bases.
The Selmathe dive bomb, like, oh my god.
All right.
That was so fun.
Who else? Nikki, you're muted.
Oh, I know.
Oh, okay.
I'm good.
It wasn't a goblin moment.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It was on purpose.
Good.
Okay. Guess we're moving on to the next question. Anyways, has this game changed how you make or play characters given this experience? Because this has been so different than anything, because you're not comparing your character to others in the making process, and you pretty much just get thrown in and have to figure it out along the journey.
If I can interject something
Go for it, yeah.
Here for a second?
Yeah.
Because I tried, because of the unusual circumstances in this game, because generally when you have a group that's going to play, the session 0 is for everybody. Mm-hmm. And that's when people try to, busk together to see, hey, I've got this, you can play off of this as well. They have pre-arranged relationships in some cases, be it like sibling, be it like couple, be it like rival even, partners in crime, whatever you want to call it. But in this case, they had to kind of go in blind, really.
Yeah.
And I tried to guide a little bit into a direction that could help possibly bounce off somebody else.
Yeah.
And but the thing is, they didn't need that much help in that direction.
And I was about to say, with the session 0s, I feel like when y'all made them, y'all had rough ideas of what you wanted these characters to be, and then Dragon took you through like 20 minutes of like, this is your lead up to getting to Salt Marsh, and then that's all you got. And so you didn't really, I don't know if any of you went back and like wrote out backstories or anything like that based on all of that information. But I feel like it was just like, you have an idea, now go.
No one has seen my D&D Beyond character list of 60 or so characters that I just make up whenever I get a thought in my head.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
It's a real thing. And like not even just to like, I want to make the best character. It's just like, what if I took this and this and put these together? How would that work? So I from because of ATL D&D, I got really good at just make a thing, jump in. Like that it's not a great it's fun. It shouldn't be used all the time though.
Yeah.
It is a burnout.
Yes.
But it is very fun and very exciting to essentially build something and then you just like wait until you jump into it. I have had dungeon masters, myself included, who've already had the characters made up, not pre-gens, but like already made up like specific characters so that there wouldn't be the same thing and people would have special abilities, and then you hand those to the characters or to the players, and and then they immediately jump into it. Like, don't even really get like a week to look it over, like maybe 5 minutes before the game starts, which is terrible. Don't do that. Don't do that. That is the one thing that I enjoyed about this, was that at least we got like the session 0 between each like by ourselves with Dragon, and we got to make the characters, and we had time to like kind of grow into them a little bit before session 1, which was really helpful. As far as like the actual playing of it goes, it was fun. It was great. It was really exciting. I love the idea, and it's a balance of like crazy jump into a game where you don't really know what's going on, but still has the structure of a campaign, and it's not too on the seat of your pants.
Yeah. No, and I feel like there was a really good balance of that for this.
With this, this was honestly the longest campaign that I've been a player in, because I haven't been playing D&D that long, and so I've only been playing for about 4 years now.
I mean, same.
And so the longest running campaign I'm part of is my family game that I'm the GM for, that we've been doing for like 2 years.
That's fair.
And so getting to just like sit with a single character for that long was a very different experience from just like, okay, here's my like throwaway one-shot character, or like here's this character that I made for a one-shot that has now lived on for a few one-shots. And so having the time to actually kind of like develop a character was something I really want to do more of, and like over time having the character changing.
Yeah. Anyone else?
I'll just say that the improv skills of having to jump in and not knowing much about your castmates was a big stretch for me. Not for improv in general, but when you're doing pure improv, like as an actor, there are really no rules. You don't have to worry about anything. It's just you making it up. But improving within a structure like a campaign like this gets a little dicey. And so, pun intended. Anyways.
I call foul.
It is foul play.
That's not a funny joke. It's still not a funny, I tell you.
But it has like the question was, how has it changed how we play in the future? The campaign that I joined in the middle of running D&D Surprise Party with you guys, with Aryan Legends got started in the middle of D&D Surprise Party, and that's when our DM over there, Strike, hi Strike, he threw out this idea because it's a homebrew world, and he really encouraged the players to help build the world and introduce the I know a guy mechanic. I hope I'm not releasing too much behind the scenes stuff on Utharia right now, but I'm going to go ahead and say, like, the I know a guy mechanic is where any of the players can just basically create an NPC. Like, we just go ahead and say, oh, well, we need this done. I know a guy. He's called this. And that's really all we do. And then the DM, like, fills in that character's specifics when we go to meet them. And so this experience of doing a lot of improv in the middle of the game and not really having a big plan, because I'm the kind of guy that it doesn't matter if you tell me the day before the campaign's going to start that I'm going to be in it, or months before. I'm going to write a backstory, and it's going to be more than a page long, even if I have to stay up all night to do it because the game's tomorrow. And I didn't get to do that with this one because there was no material to go on. So I feel like this experience prepared me to really maximize that I know a guy mechanic that we use in Utharian Legends, and so it really did boost. This experience boosted my other gaming experiences a lot. By the way, I want to go ahead and brag on my other DM, Strike, for a minute, because
our wonderful Alfred behind in the Batcave of
the Alfred Tiefling. For the Chaotic Tiefling Batcave.
Yep.
That if I know that people are already impressed a lot by Strike and his world that he's built, but if you want to be even more impressed, so many of those characters that have come out just in these sessions that we've done for Utharian Legends, Strike had no idea at the beginning of the session that he was going to be building an NPC mid-session until this guy showed up and went, oh, but we need to go talk to my buddy Miro, and all of a sudden Miro's created out of whole cloth. And then there he is, and he's already on the battle map in Roll20. I don't know how Strike does his dark sorcery, but he does, and it's amazing.
Roll20. Oof.
Yeah. And so so this experience has really changed how I get to participate in the world building, because up till now I've really just been not backseat, but just a consumer player. The DM will make the world, and I'll just respond to it as it comes. But we all got a chance to really kind of build and shape this version of Saltmarsh, and that was one of the most fun things.
I love it. So this is an in-character and out-of-character question. So what is one thing that you know, what one thing that you know now do you wish you knew early on? Other than, I wish I knew who I was playing with before session 1. You can't say that.
I would not have changed anything.
Yeah?
Yeah, honestly. I liked not knowing everybody. I liked how we came into it. I like how our characters meshed. I wouldn't have changed a thing. Haha! Be set.
Hear that. I think the one thing that I would have liked to have known, and for Ludani to have known, and this has nothing on you, Dragon. You ran the game phenomenally, and there's a jumping child in my room now. Knowing how important the haunted house was, and doing more exploration of that versus going back to the swamp. And again, you did jump. You did a very good jump. Proud of you. I know how hard it is to herd people without it seeming like a railroad, essentially.
That's what I wanted to avoid more than anything.
Yep. But
now I just look in the mirror.
Great. Keep looking in the mirror, kid. You're beautiful. Sorry, baby. I love him. He's great. Dad's not home right now, so we're just hanging out.
He's the best.
He's the best. That is not because of we took too long with that and we ran out of time. It's just I think Ludani probably would have been much more insistent then of like, you know, like, oh yeah, we check this out. But really, from all the hints we've been getting, should hang out more at the haunted house. Anyway.
I figured that once you heard from the goblin saying, "It's not haunted. It's not haunted." I was hoping that that would give you the hint that something suspicious AF was going on there.
We're so oblivious.
Yeah, that.
I wish I had known that the shiny thing was just a weight and not worth all the spiders.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
No, you.
So I think Jin's answer and Tilly's answer are the same answer. I wish I had have made my mind out, or English. I wish I'd have made my mind up about my homunculus robot a little sooner so I could have vamped that out on stream.
Yes. Oh man, that would have been so good.
Oh, that would have been so much fun.
Save it for when we come back.
There you go.
Absolutely.
I had a moment when I really wanted Squall to have primal savagery, and I couldn't because druids change out their spells every day, but don't change out their cantrips. So there was this one moment that I really wanted Squall to have primal savagery, and I really wish I had picked that. But then again, like I had that moment of wishing I had known then what I knew now. But the more we went through it, the more Gust came, like his two cantrips that I took were Gust and Thorn Whip. Mm-hmm. And Gust came up in roleplay enough to be a lot of fun. But then in combat, Thorn Whip became like my last ditch attack when my javelins wouldn't work and everything. So in the end, I really liked what I had, but I for about half the campaign kept looking at primal savagery like he's an Aarakocra with talons already.
Eventually, you're going to level up and get
back things up with some primal savagery. And for those of playing on what April just said, for those of you who want to see Squall at a little higher level, he might get another cantrip, and it just might be primal savagery for reals.
I would like to see
Well,
this.
hold on to that thought, because when we do eventually come back, y'all are going to start at 3rd level.
Yeah, because I want to pick my rogue ability. I have no abilities, guys. I am just
when we come back.
Yes.
When we come back, y'all are going to be starting out at 3rd level.
I'm gonna stab everything.
And I think on mine and Dragon's side of this question, I think that's something that we didn't think about and didn't think to discuss is how leveling was going to work and whether you wanted to start them at 3rd level, that way they had more abilities, or whether you were going to level them up pretty quickly across the episodes. That was like the one thing we didn't discuss. But I actually at the end of it, I know y'all probably hated it, but it was kind of interesting to see these super squishy characters going through this adventure.
Yeah.
It was a love-hate thing, because I kind of liked that I didn't have any of my abilities, but also, like, as a player, I'm like, God damn it, I know what a rogue could do, just give me 50 more points.
Yes.
I want a sneak attack.
Well, like I said, we're gonna when we come back, y'all are gonna be at 3rd.
Yeah.
So there's that. So you'll get your subclasses.
I'm not gonna tell you guys what it's gonna be until we come back.
But
I know what it's gonna be.
But I also like that we got to showcase the lower level stuff and what
Yes.
That's why I said it's a love-hate, because I loved that we ended with that.
Yeah, because when you watch streams, even when they start at lower levels, you're either starting at like 3rd level or 5th level or something like that. That way
or
you
they
can
level
maximize
like
for
3
viewers.
levels in 2 games. Yeah,
exactly.
I'm actually thinking about, and here's a little bit of a sneak peek for you, I guess, for season 2. I was seriously thinking about letting them start at 3rd level.
Yeah.
So this way, it also builds up a little bit more for more things for them to do to maybe entertain the audience a little bit more too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because with Like I enjoyed the game and I enjoyed my character,
Mhm.
but it is a little limiting playing a
Yeah.
second level rogue because
And
Right.
that's the other thing too. And
don't
that's I
hit
put this
me
on
yet.
me. I kind of forgot about the whole doing it for an audience
yeah,
thing
Yeah.
quite a few times. I was just concentrating on running it for you folks, and I wasn't thinking about the cinematic aspects all the time. Occasionally I would get something going, oh wait, there's an audience, I need to boost this up a little bit somehow. Because I'll tell you something right now too, you missed, and Neoma pointed this out in the chat. I think it was Neoma that pointed it out in the chat about there was so much more in that house.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah,
got a
no,
hint when I told you that there was a swarm of sturges that flew out of the attic that caught on fire.
I
Yeah.
looked
As
in
the-
the book like 2 days after our game was over.
Yeah.
Did you
I
really?
had to know what was in that house. I
Do you know
couldn't
what was in
control
the?
it.
Do you know what else was? Well, the goblins weren't supposed to be in the well. That was all.
Yeah, no,
all
I
mine.
found that out.
There was something else in the well, and it was they were still down there. There were 2 giant poison constrictors in the well.
Sweet.
He went easy
Bugs
on
and
us.
snakes.
Read the book. He
Nope.
went easy on us for some things.
Molotov.
Okay.
Yeah.
All the
Portals.
fire.
Portals.
That will never not be funny.
So
I
yeah,
just
no, there's a
love
whole
that, you
bunch
know-
of secrets in Salt Marsh, but there's
Yeah.
still other ones that you don't know about.
But I also love that I don't think any of you went and peeked at Salt Marsh when you found out what you were running. Y'all were all good about that?
Yeah, I
or
didn't
had,
No,
look
or
until
hadn't
after the game
played
was over.
Salt Marsh before.
I've never.
Mm-mm.
I had read like one of the mini introduction things,
Yeah.
but not the actual book. So
Yeah,
like
we
I
were
knew
all
a little bit
Saltmarsh
about
newbies,
the
I think.
backstory of Salt Marsh.
Yeah.
But like I said, I broke down and had to look in the book after our campaign was over because I just had to know what was in that house. I had to know what else was in that house.
The
Yeah,
I
one
mean, at
time
that
I
point,
looked,
we torched it, so
yeah,
So yeah, now we can't go back to it.
yeah, the one
Exactly.
time I looked through Salt Marsh book was literally when it first came out, and I was looking at the water combat, nice,
Yeah.
and that was it. So
That was one of the things that I loved about it when I got it, because I actually ran the first 2 modules, because Saltmarsh is a trilogy. They put in other adventures that had a nautical theme to it. But originally, back in the 80s, they released a trilogy with starting off with the Sinister Secret of Saltmarsh, which was the haunted house and a ship. We didn't even get anywhere near the
The
ship.
ship is so cool though.
But then they went to the next one was the Danger at Dunwater, and then the last one was the Final Enemy. And I was seeding little parts of it, of the other adventures, into this. But yeah, no, but I ran this back in the day. I ran the first 2 adventures back in the 80s. So when this came out, I said, I have to run this sometime. And that's why I said, when I started doing Surprise Party, I said, I got to run Salt Marsh.
I love it.
So-
And I love that you were able to like have that journey as well.
Yeah,
So-
and then of course just throwing the book out the window.
It's D&D. What are you going to do?
I figured I would start with a book adventure to try to make it easier for myself. But no.
But the majority of it, and honestly, a lot of my favorite stuff was the stuff from the first 6 episodes that you were rolling with what they were throwing at you. Like, you did so well.
Thank you.
And so it was honestly like when you were like, oh yeah, now we're getting into the book, and I was like, wait, like we haven't been in the book this whole time? Okay. I almost wanted you to keep going with what you were already doing instead of going into the book. So, but we'll get to see I guess Dragon flexes his DM muscles and stuff on this next one with his world that he's been building. He doesn't have to rely on a book on this one.
Yeah, and I am excited and terrified at once.
It'll be great. It'll be fine.
I hope so.
What could possibly? Never mind.
Nope.
Hey, that's my line.
Finn,
My line.
Finn, no.
What could possibly go wrong?
That's a Finn no. I'm sorry.
I didn't finish it.
All right. So now we're gonna get into some of the more fun, goofy questions. These will be a little bit more rapid fire, I think. In character question: biggest crush amongst the party and why?
Oh, here we go.
Tilly, absolutely, 100%. Like, I wrote down in my notes the first time, I was like, must protect. Very, very sweet.
Damn, Nikki, you were like, ready.
I was ready. I was so ready.
How long have you been sitting here waiting to answer that?
Since episode one, when I saw Tilly, and I was like, I love her.
I love it so much.
Selmathe's a useless lesbian, is all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
That doesn't mean you can't have a crush. There are three
No, that's
ladies
the
in this
thing. I was
party.
gonna say, that's the thing. There are 3 ladies. She's a useless lesbian.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Ludani liked everybody, but specifically, Tilly was like the first, and then everybody else just kind of built up from there, including Squall.
Yeah, we couldn't tell when you said yes. Well, you stand out anywhere because you're pink.
Bubblegum pink.
Bubblegum pink.
Yeah, that was a choice.
Good choice.
It was such a smooth save, Nikki.
No, it wasn't. No. No, I knew exactly what I was doing.
I know.
my poor dumb moist genasi.
Her
Pretty
sense of
nice.
humor is the only thing dry about her.
That's what, like I said before, she was very dry,
true.
despite
Very
being the most moist.
So Alizira actually, fun fact, is asexual.
Oh,
Nice.
Love it.
yay!
I love it.
As
So-
as an ace, I salute her even more.
So she loved everyone in the group and like 100% would cuddle with all of you, but she
Yep.
doesn't really care about that.
And that's
Fair.
and this
Very
isn't
good.
like this can be platonic. This can be
Yeah.
Platonic
like,
crushes are very valid.
Yes.
Zira, I'm not
she
a
has
very
a
good
platonic
cuddler.
friend crush on
Sorry.
everyone.
Unless
Love
you
it.
enjoy being in a waterbed.
Every bed you're in is a waterbed.
I know.
I think that's what she was trying to say.
Yep.
Well, I guess that begs the question: if Alizira is asexual, is she also aromantic? Because she could crush romantically on anyone in the group.
As I was playing Alizira, I realized she was just not.
Cool. Yeah. So down.
Yeah,
Super
I
down.
don't know when I decided in the game, but I like midway through the game, I'm like, she's asexual. She has no interest in pursuing a relationship with anybody.
I love it.
But she does love her friends and will protect you fiercely.
Oh man.
Love it. I love that.
I love it.
Okay, come on, Finn.
I was about to say that
Squall's
just
crush.
leaves Squall
We're
and
all
Tilly.
waiting for it. You know we're not going to skip the question until we find out who Squall's in love with.
All right. So, Squall.
Just April going.
Squall is the socially awkward protagonist in a harem anime because there are so many attractive ladies around him, and they're all attractive in different ways. That he just is like very much like, oh, Squall doesn't know how to process this experience. Squall is just very much like he gets here, and there's all of a sudden this like strong bond with he and Alizira. I feel like he and Alizira like gelled really well really early.
Miss Tree.
And just
I
from
loved our
all
friendship
around
so much.
all the ball bearings and things like that. But then like there were also all these different moments like Squall and Selmathe like both like bonded over the flying and just being
And the magic mouth.
the magic mouth because
Oh,
what do we say to that mouth, guys?
Fuck that mouth.
Man,
I'm sorry, Sarah. I'm very
what that
very
magic
sorry.
mouth do?
No, you're not.
You're not sorry.
It yells. It
Of
yells
course
at
I
you.
am.
That's what it
I'm
does.
being
It just
completely
screams.
sincere and honest.
In any case, but yeah, then there was the whole like feathers and leather ship that happened over there.
Yes.
And so then there was just one moment like where Lulu kind of picked up on the fact that Squall doesn't like to walk around on the ground because that was one of his character traits. He's just is so done with walking. He'd rather be either perched or flying around somewhere. And so Lulu was just like, "You want to ride on my shoulders for a while?" And Squall like,
I forgot about that in the cave.
Yeah.
Being short for an Aarakocra, because Aarakocra, like your guard variety Aarakocra is very tall, but Squall is more of a raven. So instead of being tall like an eagle person would be, he's actually very short and just like this cute little bird boy. And so he did just perch right up on Lulu's shoulders and just kind of ride around.
Yeah, he did.
Squall Muyo.
It is Squall Muyo. It's like Tenchi Muyo in Saltmarsh is what's happening here. And then the fact that like Tilly always has all the most interesting and neat stuff, and she is that cinnamon roll of the group. Like, I feel like if we're ranking cinnamon rolls, Tilly would win with a bullet out of the party. And so Squall, like, her kindness, like, she was always just very kind and caring to everybody, to the point where, like, she's just this soft bean that, like, reached out to Squall, and Squall was like, "I did not know my heart had this many chambers." And so, like, and then, like, that's how...
Good night, everybody.
And
That's it.
I also really loved...
So we're all just going to get married.
That's the idea. Like, Squall would just really love just a giant cuddle puddle with the whole...
The big nest.
Okay, we got to tell
nest.
Hildy to
Real
make
big
the room
nest.
just a giant
Wait.
nest, and we'll all
Okay.
just cuddle.
Wait, we got one more. Tilly.
Yep.
Oh, okay. This is interesting because it's again something that was just in my head and think was ever going to come up in any way. But Tilly does have a crush, but it's not in the party. It is part of her backstory.
Oh.
It is part of her backstory. Tilly
You
has a
can't
rival.
just bring in a random backstory and be like, I don't have a crush on anyone.
Now
I
here's
have
the
my
other thing
own.
too. I don't have everybody's full backstories. I was never given everybody's full backstories.
Well, I didn't think it was anything like really important. It was just like something that was in my head. It was never going to come up. It was just, something that helped me inform other character decisions.
Oh, Tilly just broke everyone's
question
heart
I was
tonight.
expecting to ever come
Yeah.
up.
Tilly on
As you see all the little anime ghost bodies leave,
on
Udani just starts crying.
and as such, she gets shorter and shorter and shorter.
on Tilly's murder board, she just has a picture of her crush up in the corner with just like a heart drawn over it.
Well, you guys haven't seen Tilly's notebook yet, remember?
True. She's got her name written a million times, but Hack Wrench is not the last name written.
In different signature styles to see.
Now in my mind, Tilly's notebook just turned into like a Lisa Frank Trapper Keeper.
Oh no. That's canon. It's colorful.
I love it. I love it so much. Okay. Let's see. Along the lines of all of this, if the Fellfire 5 was an anime, what archetypes would the characters be?
The quiet one in the background.
I actually we thought we talked about this earlier and made it as a joke, and now it's a question.
Yep.
But
Surprise!
I was serious.
No, I'm very serious.
I literally told you guys I was going to put this in the thing.
In my
Yeah,
defense, I
warned
didn't
you.
see that.
I definitely pegged Ludani as a Shikamaru from Naruto. Just very like, I don't want to be here.
This is such a drag.
This is such a drag. Like, okay, you guys.
I
continue.
couldn't put my finger on it until just now. Holy
Mhm.
crap! Yes.
That's so accurate.
Holy
That's
crap!
my
Yes.
favorite.
Yep. But then, push comes to shove. oh my god, she will absolutely like, do amazing fight stuff and just pull out random like nuggets of like, we can do this. This is also an option. Like, yep. She's not like, she is not smart. I do want to preface this. She's not book smart. So not a hidden genius or anything like that. But she's boat smart, street smart. Kind of thing.
So in that vein, Tilly, like this was something that was in my head when I was, like the first couple sessions playing, but Tilly is very much like Ash Ketchum kept coming to mind in that, or like Naruto or Luffy from One Piece. Like she's extremely driven and that she wants to be the best artificer in the world. Number one, most smartest science girl, but also all the food.
I am ashamed right now that I cannot think of it. Inventor girl from My Hero Academia.
We talked about this already. No, we did talk about this.
Yeah.
She's
straight up Inventor girl.
How like all the food, all the time, especially loves cooking.
Love it.
I haven't watched enough anime to actually be able to give an answer for Salmathe.
So that
despite
means
the fact that
everyone
I was
else,
the
what
one.
are your opinions?
To me, Salmathe is Edward Elric.
Mei Hatsume. There we go.
Hatsume?
Hatsume is
that's Inventor Girl.
It's Tilly from.
Okay, I was like, that's not. That was somebody else.
I get such Edward Elric energy from Sarah occasionally, especially when because she's very loyal, very serious, but then as soon as something happens, she freaks out, and you can easily see the eyes going white and the arms going up and down.
I'm small and I will fight.
Who are you calling short?
Well, there's an unofficial trope that I like, crouching more on hidden badass, where like the person is just it's the Goku. It's the person is bumbling in everything else, but when it comes to one area, you are just destroying.
Wait, who are you saying that is?
I almost feel like that is very strongly Alazira. I would peg Alazira as the crouching moron hidden badass because
what is
got a lot of bumbling qualities. but like shows up to just behead people all of a sudden.
I did kill a lot of things.
You did kill a lot of things.
But like if we're talking about our own characters, like I think I've already
said is 13. Thank you. I'm not a moron. My wisdom is 17.
No, okay.
You've got higher intelligence and wisdom then.
Moron is only the is the name of the trope, but not what I'm calling Alazira right now, because Alazira is Vash the Stampede Strike just came up with is a very crouching more and hidden badass kind of
trope. I get it.
But
Rurouni Kenshin.
Yeah, the way you played Alazira seemed very much like an unassuming badass.
Yeah.
Like, no one really knew what you were hiding under there.
Rurouni Kenshin, he falls on his face all the time. He falls on his face all the time, and then with a flick, he chops 3 people's heads off.
I did trip a lot.
So, but like if we're talking about our own characters, I feel like I already nailed it with comparing Squall to Tenchi. Like Squall is just he is the schoolboy in the center of an entire party of badasses, and he's just like, not that Squall doesn't do his own thing in his own right. He does, come into his own skills, but he is just I have no idea what's going on, but everyone else is really amazing at everything. And he's just very bewildered and not sure why everyone likes him, but apparently everyone likes him.
So Deku?
So let's just go with this.
Are you Deku?
You leave my sweet bean alone. I'll come after you.
Sorry.
Scared me, Nikki G.
I'm a little scared.
No, I love you. You're doing fine.
I'm a little turned on. I don't know how I feel.
All right.
I need an adult.
Anyways.
All right. So I think we have just a couple of minutes left. So I think this is going to be our last question, and I think it's a really great one to end on. is there a piece of advice that you'd like to give the next cast of Surprise Party?
Oh, I like that.
Have fun. Just enjoy yourself. Just have fun. Don't overthink your character. Just fucking do it.
Make
the spontaneity.
Yes, make whatever you want. In fact, make a character that you feel like you couldn't play in a serious game.
Oh yeah.
Make the bad character. And have fun with it.
I shouldn't do that character. Definitely make that guy, make that gal.
And in fact,
grab that weird heritage line.
Yeah. If you want to play the basic bitch human fighter, play it. But just really
make it your own.
Dig deep
but
into
Nikki's
it.
Gonna come after you if you don't do a good job.
Yeah, no, yeah. If it's fine if you're like, drinking pumpkin spice lattes, but if you're just Wonder Bread over there, come on, it's D&D Surprise Party with Dragon as your dungeon master. Give him something better than white bread. Come on.
Speaking of Dragon as your dungeon master, to the next cast of Surprise Party, here's the advice I will give. And I'm going to play the cool uncle for you right now. If you can make mom laugh, you can get out of a lot of trouble. So if you make Dragon laugh,
that is true.
You can get out of a lot of trouble.
This is absolutely true.
If you make big mistakes with your character, if you make little mistakes, don't play that game. If you're gonna make a mistake, go big or go home. Commit to the mistakes that your character makes.
Very much.
Make Dragon laugh, and Dragon will make sure that plays out really, really well because he's good with taking what you give him.
These are not consequences.
In unusual ways. Use things in unusual ways.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You will get inspiration from Dragon if you can invent a new way to use something.
I think my favorite thing, plans are fun, but you know what else is fun? Leroy Jenkinsing.
Just going.
I was about to say,
you
don't have
We
to.
made so many plans, and then
I think everyone had a charge in moment, didn't they?
We all
had a moment where like fuck it, run.
Because we just there's just too much cool things to do. You don't want to spend an entire session planning out an attack plan necessarily when it's so short. Just do something. Just go for it.
Don't spend the whole campaign in the swamp.
Oof.
Don't do that. No.
Unless you already have wild shape and you can fit into a tiny hole.
I mean, that session had a lot of good going for it, but I don't think, even though that session really by no means contributed to the campaign, we made no story progress in that session. That session was just all character moments.
Strike says, drive it like it was stolen.
Please do. Drive it like it was stolen.
It's only 10 episodes. You're not committing to a 2-year campaign. You don't have to live with 2 years of character consequences. Commit.
Just have to, well, they do have some consequences because I've already said that from this point on, since they're going to be in the same world, what happens in the first group, if there is a third season, they will have to deal with some of the goings-on from the second season.
That's for
That's not our problem.
That's not your problem. You're in a whole different world, so you don't have to worry
third
about
season to
anything at all.
worry about. Second season, people drive it like it's stolen. Let them clean up the mess later.
Second season could give third season worlds of advice. We don't.
You don't have to endure your own consequences.
Yeah, you only have 10 episodes. If you screw up too bad, you just leave soon.
Yeah. So.
Oh, Lord. What are you doing to me?
That's our party game, Dragon. Is winding up the next party.
Oh, this whole...
Try to out-chaos us.
Don't even
give it a shot.
I'm going to start crying because don't even start talking about gifts to me because all of you have been just the biggest gift I could. Here I go. Ever have hoped for.
Well, we love you, Dragon, and we couldn't have done any of this without you.
And before Dragon starts blubbering too hard, we'll go ahead and go into outros, and we'll do Dragon last. So, April, let us know where we can find you around the internet.
Hi, signing off for the last time in a while. Oh God, I just made myself emotional.
I'm sorry.
Hi, I'm April. You can find me online at April Raygun on all the socials. I am the second half brain cell of Slady's ATL with Nikki down there. I I have a couple shows that are on break right now because I am moving. So I will be in a bunch of one-shots. I have a lot of one-shots and charity games coming up, so please follow me. There are going to be some great charities that we're supporting very, very soon.
All right.
Thank you, April.
Thank you, Dragon.
Sarah.
Hi, I'm Sarah at Sarah B. Strange on Twitter, where I'm mostly yelling about swords at this point, but other nerdy things. Yeah, follow me on there I pop up all over the place on one-shots, and I'm looking to get into some more long-term streams, so if you're looking to cast, let me know. Because I get way too attached to my characters to keep doing this short-run bullshit. Love you, Dragon.
Finn.
Hi guys, I'm Finnegan Archer, the Bloodhaven Bard. You can find me on Twitter at Bloodhaven Bard, where I talk about comics, video games, D&D, theater, and all the stuff that's on my brain at the moment. If you want to catch me on a live streaming game, I am still in Utharian Legends, an ongoing campaign right here on Chaotic Tiefling ATL every other Sunday. This past Sunday was our game day, so this Sunday's a week off, and the next Sunday will be
the
on
day
again.
after what streams may come.
Yes, it tends to be the Sunday after what streams may come at least once a month. So, woof! I just really love punishing myself on those double stream weekends. But you can find me there and on What Streams May Come, where I host a live reading of Shakespeare once a month with my dear friend Jessica Skellington. And that's where you can find me. And you know what? I love you all, especially you.
All right.
Thank you, Finn.
Jenna.
Hey guys, it's Jen. You can find me on Twitter at Jenna K, on Instagram at Jenna Carts. I'm a graphic designer. I do that art thing. Keep an eye out because commissions will be opening up soon. Occasionally you can see me popping up on What Streams May Come. This was a really great experience. Like I said before, this was my first stream. I'd love to do it again. So if you're looking for players, message me on Twitter.
And Jenna may be doing some fun graphic design stuff for Chaotic Tiefling, maybe?
Yeah,
so
I didn't even tell you I may have been working on something this morning.
Oh, really?
Really?
Okay. I can't wait to hear about it. Anyways, and
Thank you, Jen.
My husband just came in because he heard me squealing like that. Was like, what are you doing? Anyways, I've enjoyed Jen getting to kind of like jump into this world because this party knows, but Jen and I went to high school together.
We did.
And so it's been really cool to like have you kind of join this whole thing.
Oh.
So, I love you.
I love you more.
All right, and Nikki.
By God. It's me, Nikki. You can follow me on Twitter at TheWigDM or SladiesATL and watch us over at SladiesATL on Twitch with April, my favorite. Yeah, just doing stuff over there. Every now and again, you'll catch me here on Chaotic Tiefling, and every now and again, also over on Crafted Studios. I do a lot of D&D style things, tabletop RPG stuff, crocheting baby blankets because I'm about to pop out a potato. Just normal me stuff. Thank you so much, Dragon.
Thank you.
I'll go ahead and go next since I know Dragon has a special outro planned. But it's me, your friendly neighborhood BabstheBat. I am the Chaotic Tiefling behind Chaotic Tiefling Productions.
She booped the chaos.
I booped the chaos, and this is where we're at. And I started this journey a year ago, and because of quarantine, I literally just needed something to do. So I said, hey, why don't I start a production company? Because that's what you do.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. And so that during quarantine, it was the Twitch side of things because that's all I could do by myself. but now it's grown into this wonderful, amazing community, and I love just creating things with all of you. And I want to keep doing it. I can't wait to see where this grows when we can get Chaotic Tiefling into an office and turning into the thing, the brainchild, the creative brainchild that I want it to be. Because so many of you are also in Atlanta, so that just means we can do stuff in person. But, you can...
Oh, don't worry, I have plans for you.
But weirdly, you don't see my face around here very often. I am the Offstage Oracle, which is weird because this is my channel and you rarely see my face, but that's fine. But I am your also Offstage Oracle. I run What Streams May Come. I run this. Typically, if you see Chaotic Tiefling in chat, that's me. And
That's her.
You can find me over on Rock Punch ATL as well. I am the creative director, marketing person for them. I wear a lot of hats in my life. And so I do a bunch of stuff with them. And then you can also find me on Tuesdays on the Shared Experience channel. I play a super nerdy Mandalorian who's backpacking around Europe instead of going to college, like her mom wants her to, in a Star Wars game. So that's been really fun. But maybe at some point I'll get to be on any of the D&D streams that are on my channel. But we'll see. I may have plans. You never know. Y'all don't know what I'm doing. I got to be on What Streams May Come last show. That was really fun. I got to host with Finn because our dear lovely Lady of Shadows was recovering from surgery. But she will be back this next show. We're very excited. Finn didn't say it.
You really think we were going to be able to do Macbeth without her?
I know. I mean, Finn just said it, but the next show of What Streams May Come is Macbeth. Casting stuff went out today. Oh man, it's going to be good. I'm super excited for this. And y'all are definitely going to want to be there to watch because everyone is...
If the hinting was right from what I was reading in the casting room, and Lady Macbeth is who I think is Lady Macbeth.
Yep.
Holy crap, y'all.
But the thing is like, even though we don't do rehearsals, we don't do anything like that, everyone is still so creative, and they've all taken to the Discord, and they're coming up with these amazing things to make these virtual shows as best as they can possibly be. It's a really amazing experience. I never would have guessed that Shakespeare would be such a popular thing.
Well, that's the way we do it.
I mean, but we have so many people show up and so many people commit, and everyone has been fantastic. And so it's been great to just be like, come perform and create and feel safe in this space to do that. And that's really what we wanted it to be, and it has been. So, but I'm going to step off my soapbox, and I'm going to pass it off to Dragon. Dragon, take us out.
Well, I've said it before, I'll say it again. It has been my honor to be your humble dungeon master for this first season here at Surprise Party. What Babs was saying about the community is 100% accurate. Like I said at the start of the evening, if this community wasn't like that, there's no way in hell I'd be able to pull something like this off. Not even just from a support stand, but just from an atmosphere stand, because you don't know what you're getting. You don't know who you're sitting down to a virtual table with. I've seen so many horror stories on Facebook groups and on Twitter about how badly and how rudely people were treated, or how dungeon masters completely railroaded things or seemed to persecute one specific player. And I couldn't put out a call on Twitter.
No.
Or a call on Facebook. Hey, who wants to try this? Because Lord knows what kind of Frankenstein you would get. And I don't mean Frankenstein in a good way.
Yeah.
And, but the way this community is so welcoming and nurturing and loving, and I know I've used those words many times talking about this community, this family. It's family. But that's what it is. And I needed that, especially this time last year.
Yep.
And it's just made such a world of difference. And these people have made such a world of difference in my life. And I found so much of my creativity return, so much of inspiration just come bubbling back to the surface. It's because of these people's input and these people's support and care that I've been able to pump out all these stupid t-shirt designs. And I thank the fates, I thank the gods above, whatever you choose to believe in.
Oh no,
Hell,
we worship the gods of chaos and fate here.
I will
Straight up.
I will even thank the great old one for this. I'll thank everybody. But I have to thank you folks here at my table and Babs for helping me do this.
Absolutely. Like, this is why I do it, because I want to give people the opportunities to stretch their legs and try the creative things that they don't feel like they can do anywhere else. So, and again, this would not have worked anywhere else.
Absolutely.
So, and as soon as you came to me with this idea, it was like, absolutely, we can absolutely do this project here, because we know what kind of community we have, and we know that we're able to create a safe gaming experience for everybody. So, because that was
that's why when for the people that were applying for Surprise Party,
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing. The people that are coming in, they don't know who they're playing with yet. Well, they know each other.
Yes.
They just don't know they're playing with. I mean, look at the two brain cells.
Yep.
We almost figured it out.
I know. You told me, and I was like, oh, because I was able to keep the secret the whole time. Damn it.
Yeah.
I pulled it off. I'm still proud of that.
Yeah.
No, we were still surprised, but we almost figured it out.
But
I also told you no, somebody's not playing. I also specifically told you that.
But that was one question that I got a lot when I was like telling people about the idea is, well, but how are you creating a safe gaming experience for everybody so that they're not stuck with someone that's going to make them feel uncomfortable or anything like that? And it's like, well, luckily all of these people have worked together on other projects in our community together before, and most of them are friends outside of that, and it's hard. It's telling a stranger, like, I don't know how to explain it to you, but I promise it works. It works, I promise. So, but we are, despite leaning into the chaos, we do make sure we do things carefully, and that it is organized chaos. So that...
Strongly chaotic good.
Yes. So, we do this safely, and what is the word I'm looking for? We take our time and we do all of the things, and it just works because we're so careful, and we really care about it. Yes.
We cultivate.
Yes.
I had it and then it left.
Yep.
We curate.
Curate. That's the word.
You're the great curator. But so as I was saying,
yes,
it has been my honor and my pleasure to be the dungeon master here. Players in season 2, I'm expecting good things from you. I know who you are already, even if you don't know yourself. You got some boots to fill. But knowing who you are, I think you'll approach it pretty good. You'll come at it on your own way, And you do. You have to. Like they said, drive it like a car that got stolen.
Yep.
And because we're actually going to try to hold it to the 7 to 8 episodes. Try. Accent on the word try.
We'll see.
So that we can get another group to come in here to keep that surprise rolling. But I want to thank Babs for this and getting the sponsors that she did for this. Thank you to D&D Beyond. Thank you to Neverending for setting us up with the way to make the character art. Thank you for sponsoring us. We're thrilled to be associated with you. We're thrilled that the Kickstarter has been going so well for you. There's still 5 days left, folks, and you can still back them. You can still get different levels of support, different tiers, and you can still get a couple of special goodies if you back right now.
Yep, they hit their $5,000 stretch goal, which was animal companions. And their next stretch goal is $6,000, which is the foxes and the wolves, folks. And you get all of the snoots and all of the ears.
And the tails.
And the tails. It's
so
gonna be adorable.
That's the next goal. So you got 5 days to make that happen.
Yep.
So you can do that. Go to we have the.
It's in chat.
We have it in the chat right now. So thank you very much, D&D Beyond and Neverending for sponsoring the first season of D&D Surprise Party, and look forward to seeing you back next season too.
All right.
Getting back to this season, I love every one of you. And I can hardly wait till we can get back to Saltmarsh with our friends. I don't know if we said this on the air before, but when we do come back, and we will come back, they're going to be level 3. I think we just talked about it in the break.
I think we said it on air.
Did we say it
on air, not on break?
I was bemoaning my cantrips, and we said level 3 is going to happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so level 3 is going to happen. It will be there.
Yep. Season 2 premieres May 12th.
That's right. We're staying on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
But the premiere will be a Jasper's Game Day stream.
We are so psyched about being part of Jasper's Game Week.
So come donate so that the surprise die can get rolled a lot.
Yes, that is going to be something very special. It's going. I'm apologizing. Yes, you are not a critical failure. Very important charity.
Yes.
And we are so thrilled to be working with them in May. And but yet we still have to work through the details and everything, but you'll be able to donate.
Yes.
Trigger events for the surprise die. So that's I have to explain how that's going to work to the new players too, because there's going to be a little bit of extra chaos, y'all, than there normally is.
You know what? This is what we do here. They'll be fine.
We do here. So,
they know what we're about.
So you can find me on the Twitterverse at Draconic Verses. You can also find the D&D Surprise Party Twitter stream. Yes, I'm getting to thank you, my dear friends. And of course, if you hit exclamation point forsooth in the chat.
Forsooth.
That will give you the link to my TeePublic shop, where you can pick up the D&D Surprise Party merch. You can pick it up on shirts. You can pick it up on stickers. You can pick it up on notebooks. You can show how you are a fresh piece of excellent witchcraft. They're available in multiple colors, as you can see as well. So, but yeah, as a wise pitchman once said, I got the hookins to make you good lookins. You know what I'm saying here?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
And sometimes you want to be silly.
The silliest shirts on the planet.
I'm gonna miss those commercials. I'm gonna miss the commercials most of all, Scarecrow.
So you want us to stop by before every episode then, just to do a commercial for you?
I mean, if you're ever in the mood.
I mean, every Wednesday for like 5 minutes, me and Finn just drop in.
So what we need to do is, because April, Finn, and I are in Atlanta, and we're all going to be fully vaccinated in the next couple weeks, is get together and film a couple of spots.
Do it.
Do you think it's worth it? I don't know.
Absolutely.
Look at
I need this in my life.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to make that face. Of course, we're gonna do it. I have to order 5 more shirts now for costume changes.
You know you wanted that face. That's all you wanted.
Well, you know there are some new shirts in the shop tonight, and there is a sale right now too. It's that time again.
Time to blow bubbles while I spit.
No, that's a different episode.
Oh.
But no, it's a TeePublic sale once again, up to 35% off in the store for the next 48 hours. And the new designs that are up are the names of our wonderful characters in the order of their player screens.
And there's gonna be an even cooler one that comes out tomorrow.
What could possibly go wrong?
You know, just waiting for that one.
I know you're waiting for that one. I couldn't get the Tombstone one done nice enough, though. I'm working on it still. But I have a nice script similar to your Fresh Piece.
Well, you know I love it.
But so there is, of course, my TeePublic Insanity to go check out too. I can be found on Twitch at Ye Old Dragon. I'm going to be working on some stuff there too. I will be unleashing my character building stream within the next week or two. You might see a few familiar faces from time to time in the place, if you know what I'm saying here. If you get a little hint. I don't know. Will I talk like this through that? Probably not.
Oh. Boo.
That's the problem too. Having to do all of these voices.
And not being able to stop is the problem.
And not being able to stop. That's the problem. Pesto is the hardest one.
Yeah.
Pesto is
Hard
the hardest
transition out
one
of
to
that
stop
guy.
talking like. Oh my God. But I have loved playing all of these characters. I have loved playing Lug. I have loved playing Hildy. God damn it.
Take us out, Dragon.
I have never been this attached to NPCs because I've never had to flesh them out before for players. They were just paper in other games that I ran, and you folks turned them all real. So I'm very, very happy about that too. That's another gift that I want to thank you for. But before I make too much before I become more moist than Ludani.
We all love you, Dragon. We do.
love you, Dragon.
Even the chat wants us to tell you.
We love you.
We love you.
So
And
much.
should you need us
Should you need us?
Oh shit!
anything at all,
Yes,
Ow!
Well, on that note, guys.
Yeah, well, friends and fiends, thank you very much. Usually I do a little bit of a farewell. I'm going to leave the bulk of that to some better people than myself to do it tonight. So, my friends,
Remember, stay safe.
Stay healthy.
if you have to go out, please wear a mask.
Remember to take care of yourself.
And take care of each other.
and Babs and I, in a few weeks, we'll see you next Wednesday. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.